another time here to help prepare you for your exams. This time around we're talking about your SSCE Senior Secondary Certificate of Education Waec Commerce. So I want you to pay attention, rapt attention, and be also taking note where necessary, and listen carefully. Let's treat the objective answers to the last year's questions, 2023. As I move on, I want you to pay attention and learn as I go. I hope that this video will help you become more aware of the subject commerce and will help you get yourself ready for exams related to commerce. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for being with us at ExamGuide. Okay, so here we come. The questions are 50 in number, and we're going to try treat all of them carefully. All right, so we go. The first question we have here says that buying and selling products through a network of digital services is what? The buying and selling of products through a network of digital services is what? Talking about network of digital services is computerized, isn't it? Yeah, so any transaction that is done, buying and selling that is done through a computerized system which has to do with the internet, facilitating such activities is known as electronic transactions, or you can call it what? E-commerce. And so from the options we have no other one but option D, because number one says e-transfer. You can't transfer items, tangible items through the online system. No, it can't move. You can only transfer information and pictures or videos, but tangible items cannot go through it. E-payment as well. We're not talking about the payment here. We're talking about the items buying and selling. You can only pay, but you can't transfer those items. So, but the main one here is not email as well. We're talking about e-commerce. That's the answer for that question. Okay, the next one here we have is, it says, which of the following is not a factor of production? Which of the following is not a factor of production? We know the factors of production, 4 basically. The primary factors are 4 in number. Namely, we have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Okay, these are the 4 basic factors. So if you check your options, any one of them that is not belonging to these 4 should be the answer, because it says which is not, which of the following is not a factor of production. So our answer there should be what? Should be number 1, or A, like we say, is staffing. Staffing is a function of manager or administration, management. All right, the act of employing or filling up a vacant space with the right personnel to do a particular job. That is not, it is a work of an entrepreneur to do so. Okay, so yes, our answer is A. I have the next question, number 3, says industrial, commercial, and service are types of what? Industrial, commercial, and service are types of what? As a student of commerce, when you see such a question, your mind shouldn't be troubled at all, because the answer is glaring. All right? Look at your option says specialization, no. Occupation, you have manufacturing and extraction. The last 2 can be found under the question itself. We have industrial, commercial, and service. So specialization is not the answer, but occupation represents what we're looking for. All right, you have industrial occupation, you have commercial occupation, and service occupation. Those are the three divisions of occupation. So, yes, our answer is B. The next one we have is number 4 question. It says, the reward for capital. Capital as part of the factors of production. What is the reward for capital? It says it is what? A, rent, B, profits, C, interest, and D, dividend. Okay, let's also highlight again the factors of production and their reward or their earnings. All right, when you say reward, it also means what? The earnings of these factors of production or the incomes of these factors of production. You can call it incomes, of course, in extensive knowledge. You can call it income, you can call it rewards, you can call it, salaries, what they receive, okay? What they earn as being a participant in production, okay? So capital in this case doesn't earn rent, it doesn't earn profit, it doesn't earn dividend. Capital represents the assets of a business. When you have taken up liabilities from the assets, what is left is called capital. And so it could be properties like buildings, vehicles, machineries, and so on that the business owns. What it gives to or monies invested somewhere else that represents the business interest. So what you get as a return for that factor is called interest. So our answer is C, which is what? Interest. Then a document in which the internal regulations of a company are recorded is dash. There are some documents that are used in establishing a company, like you have it there for partnership. You have partnership deed, you have memorandum of association, you have certificate of incorporation, you have article of incorporation, article of association, which is the 4 options to have. You say the internal regulations of a business, where are they recorded? It is not memorandum, because the memorandum has content is something that deals with the business and the outside world. Partnership deed is about partnership business. All right. Certificate of incorporation is what limited liability companies acquire when they become incorporated and become legal entity. And so that is why the only answer that is there that's correct is option D, which is article of association. Okay. So we go. Number 6 question here says that a business that can obtain capital through sales of shares is a dash. The kind of business that can raise capital, all right, that can raise revenue, that can make money or can generate more revenue for its operation through the sales of shares is what? Sometimes you need to read the question to understand it before you can even pick your option when they become confusing. Read to understand, read to analyze the question through how you read it. It can make more sense when you read it properly, and the answer will be very easier for you to get. So a business that can obtain capital, that is, that can raise capital, that can generate more revenue for its operation through the sales of shares as allowed is what? It is not sole proprietorship business because it's one-man business. It doesn't sell shares to anybody. Public corporations as well, even though they can be limited liability companies, but they are still government-owned businesses. So this is not what we're looking for here. It falls under a status of business existence. And so we have cooperative society as well. They don't sell shares. They only have members who contribute to their capital. So our answer is option C, which is what? Public company. Or you can call it public limited liability company. So all government businesses, majorly all of them are classified under public limited company, PLC. So yes, public corporation is a kind of public limited company. So that the answer here is when a company becomes a public limited company, it can sell shares to the public to raise capital to obtain more revenue to run its business. Okay. We have the next one. A problem associated with barter system. This is what we should be very much aware of, the barter system, the olden days of transaction, the ancient way of doing business. Goods for goods, service for service, right? Do for me, I'll do for you as well. I'll return the service to you. And so it has a lot of problems that's made it not longer interesting to go by. So here we have, say, a problem associated with the barter system, or barter is what? A, we have difficulty in collecting debt. I don't think that the barter system accepts debt. It never does that. There's no room for deferred payment in barter system of trading. So A is out of it. Inability to measure what is to be exchanged. All right, we have C. It's an inability to produce enough goods. That looks good enough, but you can't say that because people have a lot to produce. They can share anything. It's better they can be able to find who they want to exchange with. And number D says poor road network delaying transportation of goods. I don't know if there were transportation services at that time, talking about road network that requires vehicles to move around. They usually use pedestrian, which is human beings or animals to move around. Then it's an ancient time, so I don't think there were vehicles. If there were, it could be what? Cart behind the horse. Of course, that couldn't cause a traffic issue. So here, our answer here could be seen when you talk about the inability to measure what is to be exchanged. Imagine somebody who wants to eat yam but have a live chicken, and the person have one tiny yam, and you have two big live chickens to exchange with it. You're looking for someone who can give something valuable, but the person has only one tuber of yam, not big enough. All right, so how do you say, okay, you want to eat yam, give me another yam now for this? You say, no, this is all I have to offer. If you can't exchange it to me, no problem. I look for somebody else who has with a size that can be okay for us to exchange. So there's the inability to exchange what's to be measured is a major problem for the barter system. So our answer is what? Our answer is B. So the next question here talks about dissolution of partnership. Talks about dissolution. So it says dissolution of partnership could arise from what? Which of these options can cause an end to partnership existence? Or yes, of course, that's what it means. Which of these options can bring a partnership business to an end? That's what I mean by dissolution of partnership. Okay, which of these can cause it to arise? A, it says fall in output. No. B says death of a member. Okay, maybe. Let's see at the end of the options. Number C says non-access to capital. Well, that's not true. Then D says increase in market share. They don't sell shares. Okay, of course, they can have market shares, but if there's an increase in market shares, a business will survive more. Of course, they could sell more and be more alive. So yes, that's an odd option for the question we are asked here. So the one of the most correct, or the most correct answer here is our option B, which says the death of a partner. It could bring an end to the business existence. If that is obtained in their deed of partnership, that if one dies, the business should be closed down. It could be reopened, but at least for that moment it should be closed down, and if the terms should be followed and the business will be brought to an end. Yes, death of a partner can end the life of a business, a partnership in question. All right, so let's go. A source of capital to a cooperative society is what? The source of capital to a cooperative society is what? There are many sources, but the one that's common to it, the one that is most common to it, that most times represents their identity, is the one that is the best fit answer here. We have option A says contribution, B says debenture, C says ordinary shares, and D is retained profit. Yeah, retained profit can also be a source of capital for them, but the most acceptable answer for this is option A. One of the sources of capital to a cooperative society is the contribution of its members. The higher or the more the number of cooperative members, the higher the capital they can obtain or they can raise. So yes, it is what? Contributions of partners. Of members of cooperative society. So yes, that is the answer. So they have more members, more members of the society, they'll have increased capital size. Okay, the next question is option number 10. It says, which of the following activities does not belong to the extractive industry? Extractive industry, primary productive activities or primary occupation. Okay, which of these does not belong to it? Those occupations that involve the first touch of nature, all right, bringing resources from its raw source. Okay, which of them belongs to or does not belong to that category? This is mining, A says farming, and B says drilling, and D says mining, C says farming, B says drilling, and A says barbing. Drilling is extraction of liquid from beneath the soil by boring hole down there to get to the point where it is to bring it out. Farming also means cultivation of plants and crops and rearing of animals to produce food for man. Mining is also a process of extracting coal from this nature for usage. So barbing is a fashionable exercise that cuts the hair to shape it in a way that you like it to make it look good. So that is not a primary exercise or extractive exercise. So that is what our answer is barbing. Barbing does not belong to extractive activities or industry. That's our answer. Then number 11 says, the excess of total assets over total liability is what? From the beginning of this exercise, I mentioned one of the questions that came out that asset is made up of capital plus liability. Okay? So if you take away capital from asset, you get liability. If you take away liability from asset, you get capital. So the excess of total assets over total liability is what? Is capital. So which of them? We have about 4 capitals there. We have number 1, or A, we say is working capital. Working capital is the capital a company uses to run its business production or activities. Okay? Then paid up capital is part of the issued capital that the shareholders have paid for. We have capital owned, we have borrowed capital, that is loan. So capital owned now represents the portion of the assets remaining after liabilities have been removed. So yes, that's the answer is what? C. C is our answer. Okay, so question 12 says, a voluntary association of businessmen who are not in the same line of business is dash. People in a particular area or location who decides to come together, all right, for a particular business reason or reasons, but do not belong to the same line of business. It's regarded as what? That's the question I'm asking you. So you need to analyze the question sometimes to know what you're looking for. An association of businessmen who are not in the same line of business. This is particularly in a place or area or location, a geographical location. A is what? A says bureau de change, a place where currencies are bought and sold. All right, foreign currencies are exchanged within the country. You can take a naira there and exchange for dollar or dollar for naira, depending on your interest. That's bureau de change. Then you have trade unions. These are people of interest who are more like a pressure group that extract exact pressure on authorities to swing actions in their favor. Then we have trade association. People of the same trade or line of business who associate together to bring the best of their business to fore. Then we have chambers of commerce. So from what I've described so far, you should know that our answer is what? Chambers of commerce. This is the description of what you have up there. It's a voluntary association of people or businessmen who are not in the same line of business, who are meant to promote the business of the city so as to trade and prosper as well. It promotes both internal and external trade, that is national and international trade. Okay, of course, That's what the answer is for number 12. Then number 13, our question says, a similarity of private and public company is that they do what? They do what? What is the similarity between the private and public company? That is, private limited company and public limited company. That's what I'm asking us here. What's the thing that unites both private limited company and public limited company? A says that they are required to publish their final accounts. Only one is required to do so, which is public limited liability company. Private are left private, okay, because it's private. B says they have equal number of members. That's not true, because private limited company has a minimum of 2 and maximum of 50, while public has a minimum of 7 membership and then no maximum number. It can be up to 1 billion if they want to become so. So there's no limit to the number of people that can own a public limited company. The entire world can own a public limited company if they choose to so. So yes, that is not the answer. C says receive certificate of incorporation. Do they both receive certificate of incorporation, or that they sell shares on the stock exchange? Only one can sell shares on the stock exchange, which of course is still public limited liability company. So we are left with the only option that is correct here, which is option C, that they both receive certificate of incorporation, making them become what? A legal entity, an individual of themselves when they become incorporated. So yes, that is the answer. Our next question, number 14, says, which of the following is not a type of security? Security here does not mean the one you put at your door or your car or at your gates or whatsoever. It's not that type. It's not the one that the policemen provide for you. It's not the one that the dogs provide for you around your environment. No, it's not the one that you have watch nights to do for you. That's not what we're asking for here. You say securities are certificates of indebtedness issued to the holder by the receiver of funds. Okay, so yes, that's what we're asking for here. In business activities, they are called securities. They represent debt certificates, all right, or loan certificates. So which of them is not? A says debenture. These are documents that are used by big businesses to borrow money from financial institutions or individuals who has them. And they give this certificate to represent the loan they owe the person, and the person is entitled to interest, fixed interest until the money is finally paid. Overdraft is a loan allowed to the holders of current account to withdraw beyond their account balance, of which there's no coverage. There's no certificate to prove that that happened, just the account details that will be used to do that. Then shares are what? Are long-term debt certificates that are issued to holders who represent part owners of a business, all right, depending on the units they are able to acquire. And stock is a bundle of shares that's sold in the stock exchange. So yes, which of them is not a type of security? Our only answer here is what? Overdraft. If you listen carefully when I was mentioning or describing each of them, I said there's no certificate that represents this transaction except for the account details of the account holder. And people who are doing this are only people who have a a current account, or what you call corporate accounts with them. So they are allowed the grace to withdraw beyond their account balance for business purposes, of which they are made to pay back once the money comes back into the accounts. So our answer is what? Our answer is B. Then the next question, number 15, says, an organization that could strive for improvement in electricity and telephone services to users is who? Any existence that its interest is to ensure that the mount pressure for there to be an improvement in electricity supply and telephone services supply to users is what? I think now the question is clearer, so you could look at the options. Option A says what? Consumers Association. Option B says an employers association. C says manufacturers association. And D says trade association. Even though they all have association, only one is correct. Who do you think will demand for improvement in what they consume? I already mentioned that already. So the answer is what? Consumers Association, because they are the ones that use electricity in their various places of interest, maybe in their houses, in their workplace, in their business places, whatever they do, use it for. And then telephone services also used for communication. All right, so the consumers are the ones that will sort or seek out for improvements in delivery of these services. The right answer is what? The right answer is option A. Okay. Our next question here, 16, says that the business in which sales of goods involve use of vehicles is a dash. The business in which sales of goods involves the use of vehicles is dash. Vehicles are not meant to be stationary, isn't it? They are meant to be what? Mobile. They move around. Okay? So any business done with the use of vehicles going from one spot or location to another, all right? There are businesses like that. The answer is there. There are a lot of businesses in that case. Remember sometimes when you are in a location in your house or a choice place, you hear some sound, that is melodious song, and maybe not a song now, just a sound made, indicating that something is coming, and most of us are already aware of that sound. Those that sell ice cream, all right? You know, those that sell ice cream, when they have this song that, or this melody that they play, that tells you that, oh, this sound represents what? Ice cream around the corner, okay? So those people who sell ice cream, they are what? With their vehicles, and they play those sounds that you hear that tells you that ice cream is coming, that makes you want to jump out of your chair to go buy it. What they are known for is what? They are known as mobile shops. They are a shop that is mobile, moving from one place to another in a vehicle. So the answer there that we have here, we have options of, we have option A says chain store, option B says mobile shop, option C says shopping mall, and tied shop D. The answer is not hidden. The answer is option B, mobile shop. Shop 17 says the arrangement for the conveyance of goods abroad. Conveyance of goods abroad. Arrangement for the conveyance of goods abroad is performed by the dash. Not clearing here. We're not talking about clearing, all right? Arrangement, packaging, ensuring that goods leave a country to another one. Okay, the processes involved before that is done is by who? By the what? Is it by the Ports Authority? Those government staff that are in charge of running the seaports, or all the port authorities, airports, seaport, and all land ports. Are they the ones? I don't think so. Is it customs and excise authorities? These ones are involved in checking for contraband goods and impose tariffs on inbound and outbound goods. Okay, that's the major functions. C says chambers of commerce. We already know what they do before. They are people who come together to promote business in their vicinity, in their environment, in a particular city. Okay. Then D says clearing and forwarding agents. If the first three options are not correct, of course, we know that our answer should be what? Should be clearing and forwarding agents. So our answer is option D. They are the ones that arrange and prepare, program the conveyance of goods to foreign countries. Even the ones that comes into, they also involved in that, okay? So that's option D. Our next question, question 18, says, one of the barriers to foreign trade is, what are they? A says trade liberalization. B says removal of tariff. C says memorandum of understanding. And D says imposition of embargo. What we call barrier is an impediment, a restriction to trade, in this case foreign trade. So out of these four options, embargo means an outright ban to importation or even exportation of goods or services. So that's an act of barrier to trade among two countries or more. So our answer is what? Option D. Next question says, the term 2% over 15 net 30 represents what? 2% over 15 net 30. What's a concoction of a formula? Of course, it's simple. All right, what does it represent? It means that if a customer is able to pay its debts, as in is able to pay up for the goods purchased under 15 days from the day of purchase on credit, he or she is entitled to 2% cash discount. Okay? I've already given the answer. So yes, but if not, he will pay the full amount beyond 15 days of the total payment expected. And if he exceeds that 30 days, they will come with some extra charges. So that's what that expression means. So in this case, we're talking about what? Cash discounts, not quantity discounts, not seasonal discount, not trade discounts. So our option is what? A. All right, here we have an image displayed. This image, they say use this image or the diagram below to answer the questions that follow. And this is question 20. The question says, the instrument in the diagram is a dash. The instrument in the diagram is a dash. What does it represent? This is simple as it's known. The pictures here is representing what? A check booklet. All right? So it's not a warranty. Warranty will tell you how many years it will be from the time you purchase it, and there's nothing like that on this thing. It says, what's the name? It says Waec Bank, 2 Kingsway Road, Avenue, Banjo. Pay so person $200,000 only. So that's what we mean. That's how checks are written. All right. So it's called an order check. That's it, or order. So here it's a check booklet. It's not money order. It's not a deposit slip, but what? A check booklet. Yes, the next question says, the 2 lines on the instrument shown there, on the diagram shown, is what? Instrument shows that it is what? A, that is it that the money has been paid, so that when you pay, you cross it and say you are paid. Is that true? Is it that the instrument, which is the document, is crossed because of the 2 lines? Is it cancelled? Is it altered? What does those 2 lines that is drawn across the check diagonally, what does it represent? That is a sign of a crossed check, please. If you don't know it, it's a sign of what? A crossed check. A crossed check doesn't mean a cancelled check, no. It's to show that the checks are protected and they are clearing checks. Okay? So they must take some working days for it to be cleared, except when it is signed in now to open it. So yes, it's called a crossed check. So the answer is what? Option B. The next question from this same diagram or instrument, as we call it, is that the instrument will not be valid on what date? Because we have dates here as our options. Which of these dates will invalidate this document for usage? That's what the question is asking us. The instrument here is a check, like we already know. The crossed line there makes it a cross check, make it a clearing check. And so which date do you think this instrument will be invalidated? Because there's also a date on the check. The date on the check says 24th April 2023. 24th April 2023. So a check will no longer be useful or tenable after it was issued. By what time? That's how your answer will come. If you check it, checks have a lifespan of 6 months before they are expired or before they become stale. After they are issued, it takes 6 months at most before that check can no longer be tendered for payment if it's not paid before that time. So in this case, look at the date that you have here. We have the date on the check says 24th April 2023, and the option A says October 25th, 2023. Option B says September 25th, 2023. July 25th, same year for C. Then June 25th, same year for D. Now, how many months do you think there is between June and these dates that you have here to give you 6 months period or after 6 months period? So have April as the first month or the beginning. We have May, June, July, August, September, October. All right? And the date says 24th. So by October 25th, it's no longer 6 months, more than 6 months. You can see now. So 25th of October is a wrong date. By that time, it will become stale. So the answer is what? A, option A. Hope you understand it. Fine. So the rate at which a country's export, number 23 now, the rate at which a country's export exchanges for its imports is known as what? The rate at which a country exports her goods and that which it imports is known as what? A says terms of trade, B says terms of payment, C says balance of trade, and D says balance of payments. All right, balance of payment is the difference between a country's receipt for her exports and that of her imports. Balance of trade is the difference between visible trade and visible import and exports. And terms of trade is actually our answer. Terms of payment has to do with what method of payment do you want to use and what's the condition of payment for transaction to take place. Yes, that's what. So our answer here is option A, which is what? Terms of trade. When a seller, 24 now, when a seller wishes to be paid before supplying goods, he would send the buyer a dash. This question is a bit more tricky. It didn't give you enough information to be able to choose your answer properly. Okay? When a seller wishes to be paid, remember that word wishes to be paid means he doesn't want to sell on credit. I hope you understand it now. When a seller does not want to sell his products on credit, that's another way to say this question. Before supplying goods, he will send what to the buyer? The buyer will receive a document that clearly says it to him or her that because of this document, I don't wish to sell to you on credit. Pay before time. Okay? There follows as the answers are the options are what? A, consular invoice. This is the original invoice that comes from the country of origin, showing the origin of the goods, where they are coming from, and the details of the goods. Consignment note is note that is sent to the buyer to show him that these are the things that are coming from where your goods are being transported from, right? To give you the content of what is there. Credit note is given to the buyer by the seller to tell him that yes, you have credit with me, I've overcharged you for what you bought and you paid for. And then the last answer here is pro forma invoice, meaning the first three are not correct, which is they are not used to tell a buyer that you're not going to buy on credit, but what, pay cash. So a pro forma invoice is a document that it gives ahead information of what is to be paid and how to be paid, and before transaction takes place. So yes, our answer is what? Pro forma invoice. 25th or number 25. A bill of lading that is tagged clean means that the goods being delivered are dash. A clean bill of lading means that don't just say because it's not rumpled, no, it's not dirty, no, not that. When it is clean, it says something very important about the goods being transported. Okay? Now in this case, it's not that the goods have been paid for, no. It's not that the goods are sold on credit, no. It's not that they give clear details. It's not just it. It's not duty-free as well. It means that there's no damage in the goods that are being transported. Everything is intact the way they are meant to be, and they are being shipped accordingly. So it shows that there's no form of damage to any of the goods being transported to the destination. So that's what a clean bill of lading tries to say. So our answer here is option D. Now 26, it says, if opening and closing inventories of a business are 500D and 300D, what we're saying here is opening stock and closing stock, all right? That's what they call inventories, all right? So if they are what? 500 and 300D respectively, and cost of sales, that is cost of goods sold now, is what? 1,200D. Rates of turnover will be what? The formula for rate of turnover is what? Cost of goods sold divided by what? Average stock. So yes, you have to take the average stock value to get the value of your turnover. So you already have your cost of sale, which is cost of goods sold. What is the value? The value is 1,200. So what's the average of opening and closing stock together? It's 800 divided by 2. And then what do we have there? We have 1,200 divided by what? 400. What are we going to have? That will give you 3.0 times, because 12 divided by 4 is what? 3. So our answer is what? 3.0 times. Option B is our answer. The function of money that makes it generally acceptable is what? The function of money that makes it generally acceptable. Everybody accepts it based on this level of transaction. All right? Is what? A says medium of exchange. Medium of what? Exchange. B says standard of deferred payment. C is what? Store of value. D is what? These four are actually functions of money, but one is one that really carries the weight that makes it generally acceptable. Okay? If everybody can buy things with money they have in their hands and the sellers will accept it anywhere you go, all right, at any point in time, then option A becomes our answer, because without money, you can acquire whatever you wish to have that all the sellers are selling to you. So money becomes what? A medium of exchange, which makes it what? Generally acceptable. So our answer is what? Option A. All right. A reduction in the value, 28 now, a reduction in the value of a country's currency in relation to that of other currency is what? Reduction. It's an attempt, a deliberate attempt by the country's government, all right, to reduce the value of its currency in terms of the other currencies of the world. Okay, that's a deliberate attempt. So is it inflation? Is it deflation? Is it revaluation? No, but also it's called devaluation. There are two ways to the country uses to a country's currency loses value. Two ways. One is by the act of the government. The other one is by the act of market forces. The one of the market forces is called what? Depreciation, and that of government is called what? Devaluation. So whenever a country's currency loses value, it's either by the government or by market forces. So whichever one you see, you should be able to take note of it. So here our answer is what? Option C, and it's called devaluation. And the next question here is 29. It says the penalty paid for not offloading goods at the port within stipulated time is what? When a ship is docked and the items in the ship are not removed as at when expected, they are charged. They are charged something. They are charged amount of money. What is that called? What's the name of that money charged then? Is it charge? As the name is it demurrage? Is it dock due? Or is it freight? No. The answer here is what? It's not a charge, it's not a dock due. Money you pay for docking. All right? No, for the ship to berth, it's not it. Is it freight? That is money paid for transporting your goods. Is it charges? No, these are just money that people are made to pay for one or two reasons or so. But what the answer is what? Demurrage. Demurrage is our what? Is our answer. Number 30 question here. It says, an advantage of road transport over other means of transport is dash. What is the advantage of road transport over other means of transport? A says that canteen services are provided during the course of transportation. It's not an advantage. A lot of this can do it. Sea transport can provide that. Road can provide it. Air can provide it. Okay, so it's not unique to it. The B says is that packaging and loading is easy as activities are handled by experts. All of them have experts, personnel to do that as well. C says specific vehicles could be used to carry certain loads. In all the transports, of course, they have speculated or specified means of transport for each of them to carry certain kind of loads as well. D says terminal handling is eliminated by door-to-door delivery. It is only road transport that can deliver door-to-door. Okay? Only road transport can deliver door-to-door services. That's the answer. Our answer is option D. The next question is question 31. It says, a factor to be considered in selecting a means of transportation, transporting fish is the dash. Transporting what? Fish. Fish is what? It's a mostly perishable good. All right? So in this case, it's what? Mostly perishable goods. A factor to be considered in selecting a means of transporting fish is what? A, supply of fish. B, nature of the fish. C, demand for fish. D, cost of the fish. When you want to transport fish that has just been caught from the sea or water over a long distance, you should make a choice, right? So our best option here is B, which is called nature of the fish, because it could be dried, it could be fresh, living, or live fish. It could be what, dead and fresh. So depending, so you choose which of the means will rightly fit the kind of fish you're transporting. So here is what? Nature of the fish, not demand for the fish, not supply of the fish, not even cost of the fish. Okay, so our answer is option B. The bank that conducts research on an economy, thereby identifying obstacles to growth, is dash. It conducts research on an economy, thereby identifying obstacles to growth is what? What kind of bank is that? A, is it central bank? B, is it commercial bank? C, is it development bank? D, is it mortgage bank? Out of these, central bank is not part of it because it's the apex bank of the country, run by the federal government. It has overall binding effect on all other financial institutions. B, commercial bank, who are retail banking existence. These are the ones that offer retail banking. Right? You go over the counter to withdraw your money and cash in and then pay in as well. They run other banking activities there as well. Mortgage banks are providing financial assistance to builders of structures, building as well, or just structures and building. They build houses and real estate as well, of course. Development banks are saddled with that responsibility to determine which area of the economy that needs development, all right, or growth, so that they will do what? They will channel finances or funds in that direction to help the economy to become developed. So our answer is what? It's not central bank, but what? Development bank. That's their major function or in existence. That's what they do as a bank. Option 33 says, an advantage of advertising is that one of the following is a very good advantage of advertising, as the case may be. A says, awareness is created on the existence of a product. Is that an advantage? I'm sure, maybe. But let's see the other options. B says, distribution channels for products are improved. Is that what advertising can do, or is that what they bring into play? B says, C says prices of products are reduced through advertising. Is that true? That's the opposite. D says quality of products is improved. How? Not really. They are not producing, they are only advertising. So yes, our answer here is that advertising creates awareness on the existence of products. So yes, that's what it does, to make you know that this product is available, how to use it, what it serves for you, the purposes for you to use it. And that's what it does. So it creates what? Awareness of goods available. Our option is option A. That's correct. The means by which a firm obtains information before introducing a new product is what? The means by which a firm obtains information before introducing a new product is what? A, advertising. B, market research. C, market segmentation. D, promotion. The first and the last are after production exercise. Segmentation as well is part of it, but it is market research that gives you what the consumers want to see in the product before you produce it. Okay? So that is what our answer is: market research. It gives information before you can even segment. You have received information by research. Okay? Yeah, so our answer is option D. A duty of the principal to his agent is to do what? These are contractual relationship. What is the duty of the principal to his agent? That's what we're asking here. A, is it to stop the sale of goods in transit? Is it to renegotiate agreements made by the agent after he has done that? Is it to pay the agent for services rendered by him to the principal? Or is it to disclose confidential information about the agent to people? No, that shouldn't be the case. So in this case, the principal owes the agent payment for the services the agent has rendered to the principal. That's the duty or obligation of the principal to his or her agent. Question 36 is, an element of a valid contract is what? A valid contract. There are a lot of elements to that. There's offer, there's acceptance, there's consideration, there's what's it called now? Validation, right? By assenting to the documents, right? There's also performance. So in this case, what are we not talking? One of them is what? The one that talks about valid here has to be that both parties in the contract should have the capacity, all right, to carry out the contract details. All right, the content of the contract should be that both parties should have the capacity to be in a contract before it can be called a valid one. So our answer is what? Is option C. All right, option C is the right one. They should be what? They should have the capacity to be in contract before it can be called valid. 37 says, an example of after-sales services is what? What the seller offers to the buyer when sales has already taken place is called after-sales services. Right? So which of them here represents such a service? Option A says sorting and grading of goods. This takes place before sales happens. B says provision of price list and terms. This also takes place before sales take place. The C says granting of discounts. This happens while sales is happening as well. D says free replacement of parts. Of course, there are some products that you buy that you have the grace to go for replacement parts if they are damaged. So this is what represents the answer that we're looking for. After sales has taken place, you can still go back and enjoy one or two benefits. That's what we call after sales services. So here our answer is option D, which is what? Free replacement of parts. Which of the following modes of transport could be used to convey both liquid and gas? both liquid and gas. These are not solid state things. These are things that are a bit liquid in nature, right? They flow, all right? So yes, which of them is the most useful of transporting liquid and gas? A, is it tramp? Is it tanker? Is it ferry? Is it aeroplane? Aeroplane is a air transport means. Ferry is sea transport. Tanker is land. Tramp is sea as well. So which of them represent the most suitable means of transporting liquid and gas? Of course, if you're talking about liquid, we have water, we have petroleum products in general, which is fuel, diesel, gas, and so on. So when they are transported, what do you see them transported with? Is it tanker? Of course, that's an answer. Answer is what? Tankers. So not aeroplane, not tramp, not ferry, but tankers. Of course, tankers they have the ones that run in the water, of course, but the answer is what? Tanker. So yes. Next question here says, advertising designed to sell more of a commodity's products than other brands is what? Take note of the question. Sell more of a company's products than other brands, all right? To try and sell more than other brands. In this case, they're doing what? They have competing brands. So what we're looking for here is what? We have competitive advertising, indirect advertising, informative and persuasive. Which of these is the most correct answer? Our answer is what? Competitive, because we have other brands who compete for the consumer's purchase. So trying to sell more than others means you're competing. So that's the answer. We'll have advertising, which is what? Competitive advertising. So the next question is what? Number 40. It says, in a contract of sale, the amount deposited with the seller for a particular product by the buyer is dash. Contract of sales. When a buyer gives down payment, that's what I'm asking for right now. What does it mean in a contract? A buyer comes to your place to buy what you're selling and say, I don't have the complete money now. Please take this from me as down payment, all right, advance payment before I pay the final one. That particular act, what does it mean in business as is covered in commerce? Let's look at it. Is it acceptance in a contract? Is it counter offer? Is it consideration? Is it warranty? It's not acceptance. Now I see a counter offer, which means I offer you goods, you say no, I give you service. Something different from what I want to give to you because you don't want to say no by counter offer. It's not warranty because warranty is an assurance of the life of an asset or property that you have purchased, an item that you have purchased to last you for a period of time, without which services will be rendered to you for free or be replaced for free. So yeah, that's not warranty. So acceptance also is when an offer has been made, you say you must be offered something for you to say yes, I accept it, for you to become an acceptance. Now, the answer is what? It's consideration. Okay? Yeah, it tells you that I have an interest in buying this item. So I pay a part of the money now and I'll complete it what? Later. That's what? Consideration. Our answer is what? Consideration. The next question we have is question number 41. And it says, the use of brand names and trademarks is to what? What's the essence of a company using a brand name or trademarks in its business? Now, these are the things that they use to differentiate their products from the other company's products. The images, the logos they have, the names they give to their own brand of products makes it different from other companies' products. So you can easily differentiate what theirs is and what others are not. So you can easily do that. So in this case, it helps the company to prevent imitation by competitors. So our answer is what? Our answer is option C. All right, option C. Next question says, 42 now, it says, a disadvantage of privatization is the dash. What is the problem about privatization? One of these options says it, much of it. that when a government privatizes, this will be the outcome. One of these will be the outcome of privatization, which is not good for the economy. What is this? The A says that there is a decline in the supply of goods. When privatization takes place, does it lead to decline of supply of goods, or does it lead to less efficiency in the production of goods, or does it lead to public interest over that the public interest outweighs the profit motive? Is that the reason? Or that income is unevenly distributed? When companies are privatized, right, private entities or private enterprises are profit motivated, right? So whatever they do, right, is to make more profit, and in so doing, they increase in what? In earnings, in income. Okay, so when they are privatized, they seek out for people who can pay for their services. And so they do that, they supply those people who can pay for their services. And in this case, the less privileged, those who are not well-to-do, who have less income, are disenfranchised. So in this case, they grow in wealth more at the expense of the poor. So in this case, what I was trying to say is that it brings about uneven income distribution, all right? That's what it means. So here, but government is afterward income redistribution, but here it encourages what? The richer the poor, the richer, the rich getting richer and the poor what? Getting what? Poorer. So here, income becomes what? Unevenly distributed when privatization takes place. Okay. The next one is what? It says, operating in state-owned enterprises with the intention of making more profit is what? When a government-owned business or enterprise is operated with profit-making motive or interest, what has it become? A, is it commercialized? B, is it deregulated? C, is it nationalized? D, is it privatized or privatization? So each of these options, one of them is the most correct. So whenever a government-owned business starts making profit, it has become what? It has become commercialized. Deregulation means when the government takes off or reduce some level of regulations or control over a business entity or business atmosphere. Nationalization also means when government takes over some business and make it what? A country's own business. Why privatization is the opposite, when government relinquishes or hands over ownership to private sector. So our option here is what? Option A is the most correct. So we go to the next question, number 44. It says, the department that ensures that products are made available to consumers is what? That makes sure or ensures that products are made available to consumers. That's their job. Which department is that? Is it finance? Is it marketing? Is it purchases? Is it production? This is tick. Is it that ensures that products are made available to consumers? They reach the consumer's doorstep. Don't be confused there, my people. Remember, there's always a question that comes to you, all right? In the channel of distribution, when do you say that production is complete? They say that production is only complete when the goods get to who? The final consumer. That's the secret of this answer. So in this case, it's not purchase, it's not marketing, it's not financing, but what? Production. Because production cannot be said to be complete if the consumers don't have it. So it's the production department that ensures, that makes sure that the answer is what? It's production, because it is only complete when the consumers have it. All right, so your answer is what? It's production department, which is option C. So which of the following is not a form of sales promotion? A form of sales promotion. We have the 4 P's, all right? If you remember, then we have what the 4 P's. We have place, products, place, price, and what? Promotion. Okay. So these are marketing and marketing mix. Okay, yeah. One of them is promotion. So yes, under promotion, which of the following is not a form of sales promotion? There are things you should do that represent sales promotion. So one of these is not among it. The rest are correct. When you do promotion, do you do free samples, which is number A, which is option A? Yes, of course. You do samples, give people have a taste of what you are selling, what you're producing, what you've produced. That means you are doing what? Sales promotion, so that when they enjoy what you have given to them, they'll come back to buy from you. They know that this product is good, so they can patronize it afterwards. B says demonstration. It is a sales promotion act, showing people how the product is used, how it serves them. Of course, that's demonstration. Practical display of what the product is used for and how it is used. C says cash on delivery. Payment when the goods come to your doorstep. D says buy one, get one free. Out of these 4 options, one will encourage you as a consumer to buy. That's what we call sales promotion. The one that is not directly linked to this part of sales promotion is what? Is option C. All right? It's cash on delivery. The other ones will have made you to be able to buy or make an order for the product before you go to cash on delivery. So our answer here is what? Cash on. It is not a form of what? Sales promotion. The next question we have, number 46, says divesting government interests in a business to the public is what? They are trying to confuse you. Divest. In this case, synonyms could be handing over, all right? Relinquishing what they have to the public, all right? Changing from government to public ownership, that is private sector. What does it mean? I've already mentioned it there. So the option is what? Option A, which means privatization. The rest are not not the answer. So it means what? Privatization of government business interests becomes what? Diversion of government interest to public interest. Okay? The next question we have is that the management function that is concerned with coordinating business resources efficiently is what? The function of management that is concerned with coordinating business resources efficiently is called what? Is it controlling? Is it motivating? The word is said coordinating, all right? Is it planning? Is it organizing? Our best option here is what? Is D, so it's organizing. When you put things in order to make it function very well, to achieve results, you have organized it. Planning takes place when you plan is part of organizing, all right? Motivation has to give incentive to workers to be able to do their job. Controlling has to check them whether they are doing the right thing. So the best option here is what? Is option D, okay, as the right answer. Now the next question we have, we are costing already, this is 48. It says, an organizational charts, which is called organogram, is used to do what? What is it used to do in a business life or environment? A says it determines the departmental objectives and targets. Is that what organogram does? B says it implements policies on staff welfare. I'm not sure that is correct. C says that it is used to measure variation on staff performance. Organogram, no, that's not true. D says that it shows the hierarchy of staff. That is the most correct because it shows you who is the subordinate to who controls who supervises who, what number of workers work under a particular superior. That is what hierarchy in a business. So take note of that. That's what an organizational chart shows. It shows the span of control, those who work under who, and those who supervises who. Okay? The The next one, it says, which of the following countries is not a member of the European Union? European Union. There are many countries there, I think there are more than 15 or so, but one of these along here is not part of them. I don't know how I can explain to you what makes up the European Union country, but I know the country here who that is not. Okay, but you see, Greece is part of the European Union, France as well, and then Denmark is also part of it. The only country here that is not belonging to that union is what? Is Bolivia. So that's our answer. Our answer is what? Bolivia. They are not in the European Union association or membership. The last question, which is number 50, is asking about ECOWAS, International Economic Organizations. All right, it says here that one of the aim of ECOWAS is to do what? What does ECOWAS aim to achieve when it was established? A says to encourage foreign investments. B says to ensure production of quality goods. C is to improve transportation and communication within the region. D says it promotes privatization policies. ECOWAS as an economic union tries to do what? To foster free flow of trade among the region. All right, and what they can do to ensure that happens is not by encouraging foreign investment. No, they don't. That's not their business. It's not to ensure production of quality goods. That can be added, but that's not the main reason why they are doing that. It's not to promote privatization policy. No, they are to what? They are to improve the means of transportation in the region to ensure free flow of trade as well as communication to ensure there's progress in business activities. So our answer is what? Option C. Thank you for listening. By this, we have come to the end of the objective questions for Waec 2023 exams for commerce. I'm sure that by the time you go through them again, you have taken notes, you have actually remembered some things you've forgotten about these topics. Go ahead and check it up with the help of your textbook as well as our online materials. There are a lot of materials online from Sigmatech as well as ExamGuide. Please check them up to help you to do well in this subject. God bless you. Thank you very much.